So more and more men are starting to realize the importance of raising their self-esteem in order to really attract a beautiful woman in their life. And maybe you have tried to learn pickup lines, the pickup community. Maybe you've tried to go to the gym to get some big muscles or to make a lot of money. And still, you don't feel good enough. And this ends up leading you to self-sabotage every single dating opportunity that you have. And there's a reason for that. You have been lied to about self-worth. Really, like you have been lied to. You think that self-worth is about how much money you make, having a successful business, having a successful career, finally having a woman being interested in you. You think that if you finally get your 10 out of 10, that's it. You're a cool guy. And if you really believe this, go ahead. Be my guest. Try it. I've tried. My clients also tried. And then they realized, like me, that it doesn't work, and that's why they started to work with me. Because self-worth has nothing to do with how much you achieve, with how much you succeed. And in fact, the high achievers out there who achieves the most are usually the ones who don't feel good enough inside. And that's why they need to prove themselves constantly, right? By the way, if you hear some noise in the background, my girlfriend is cooking lasagna right now, so I'm looking forward to eat that. But to come back to the subject of the video, self-worth is not connected to how much you achieve. And if you look at the way you were raised, I'm pretty sure that you were raised in such a way that you could only feel good enough if you would have good grade, right? If you would succeed at this, right? And very few of us actually received an education where no matter what we did, it was valued, right? Even if you failed, you were valued. We never received that, at least for myself, and I know many of you will think this way as well. And that's really the root cause of why we need to feel good enough by achieving this and that, right? But that's the biggest lie, because feeling good enough is an internal experience. It has nothing to do with what's happening externally. You can start to feel good enough right now in this moment as we speak. But there is this invincible block that is basically not allowing you to feel that right now. That's the biggest thing. And this was a realization that I had a few years ago, right? And it's kind of mind-blowing because all your fucking life, you've been trying to chase something that was already inside, right? Now, to get to that realization, not just on the logic level, but really on the body level, you're gonna have to do some work. Because it's one thing for me to tell you, but you are good enough, my brother. Don't you see? If I tell you this right now, you're gonna nod with your head. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, that's true. But your body is not gonna believe it. And so there's gonna be this like internal conflict. It's like, oh, but I should be enough right now. But your body's like, no, we're not enough. Not possible, right? And that's because there is a subconscious block that is still stuck in the past and that believes that self-worth needs to be achieved, right? It's something that happens if you do this or if you do that, right? And so we need to change that. We need to rewire this subconscious block. And so, contrary to the popular belief, learning to feel good enough starts internally. It doesn't mean, though, that it's only just inner work. It's a combination of inner work and taking aligned external actions. It's both, right? But it starts internally. Because if you don't recognize that your piping system is fucked, in the sense that it has many holes, right? And the water is just spilling everywhere. If you don't realize that, what you're gonna do? You're gonna put plastic to cover the holes, but it's only just a question of time until the plastic goes away and then the water starts spilling everywhere again, right? So you need to change the piping system, right? That's the whole point of doing inner work, is to change the way you relate to yourself, yeah? And that's huge. And so in order to change this piping system, you will need to do a combination of attachment repairing and parts work. This is what I teach in my mentoring program. And this is what I'm going to teach as well in the masterclass that I'm going to organize on Sunday, this Sunday. So if you're watching this right now and you're interested in going a little bit deeper into this concept of learning to feel enough without external validation, without external successes, without achieving anything, this masterclass is going to be really powerful. And it's not just going to be me like talking about these things. It's like you're going to experience that, you know, like there's going to be a meditation as well and a few other things. So if you're interested, click on the link in the description. Anyway, to come back to this concept of learning to feel good enough, right? From within. There is an aspect, like I said, about doing the attachment repairing, because, as I said, your parents trained you to not feel worthy unless you do this, you do that, then you achieve this, you succeed at this and that, you know. But you also need to recognize that not feeling good enough is just a part of yourself. It's not the whole you, right? It's just a part. And you will notice that if you close your eyes when you don't feel good enough and do a little bit of a body scan, you will notice that it has a very specific place in your body. It has a very specific taste, not feeling good enough. And most of the time, it's not all over your body. Sometimes it can be, and that's a whole thing in itself that I'm not going to go into in this video. But most of the time, it can be in your chest, this feeling of not feeling good enough, this tension in your chest, or maybe in your belly, maybe in your shoulders, right? Maybe your neck, maybe in your head, right? And so when you recognize that, wait a minute, not feeling good enough is just a tension in my chest. My feet, for example, they feel good enough. It's only here that I don't feel good enough. It's just that when the not feeling good enough feeling arise, it becomes such a big deal, right? And it changes your whole perception and you start seeing the world through that lens. How fucked up is that, right? It's just an aspect of yourself. It's just a part. And yet, it controls the very way you live your life, the very way you interact with women. Think about it. That's insane, you know. And that's why suddenly you see a very beautiful woman and you think she's outside of your league. It's only because you don't feel good enough. And that's fucked up. You should be angry at this. Seriously. Think about it. And so when you recognize this is just a part of me. I was brainwashed as a kid. I was conditioned by society. I was conditioned by my parents. That's when you start to have a little bit of a distance from this whole fucking drama, you know? And then when you have the right practice in your hands, which I will teach in the masterclass, then you can start raising your self-esteem. Then you can. But it's not finished, because raising your self-esteem internally then needs to be tested in the real world, right? Because there's a trap here. And I've seen this happening too many times. It's when you just do inner work and then it becomes this like mental masturbation, right? It's not just about doing inner work. You also need to go out there and internalize feeling good enough as you take aligned action, right? And I know I'm selling really hard the masterclass right now. I know, but it's because I'm really excited about doing this thing, and it's gonna go much deeper than just a simple video on YouTube, right? And you will be able to ask me Q&A and stuff like that. But this whole align action concept, I will talk about it in the masterclass, right? It involves knowing your boundaries. It involves facing your fears. And it involves honoring yourself. Really important, right? And when you follow these three pillars, you will see that your self-esteem is going to rise very naturally. It's very powerful. So I am making this video, yes, to sell you the masterclass. It's only €9.50, so it's very cheap. You also get 3 bonuses if you decide to join. I think it's going to be a very powerful experience. So that's why I'm, a little bit like this today. As you know, I'm not usually selling on these videos that hard, right? I talk more than just selling, but this time I felt it, so this is my truth. And if you don't decide to join, all good. I'm gonna keep on posting on my YouTube channel. I'm really enjoying these days the content that I'm making. I feel like it's really like me expressing my heart, and it feels so effortless. Like I really enjoy you guys commenting on my videos, and it's actually like pushing me to make more. So yeah, thank you for that, guys. And yeah, I see you soon. Peace.